Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name is Ashley, and today I'm here to do my January wrap-up and February TBR. Things are a little disjointed, and so if you see some changes throughout the videos, they're being filmed on separate days. That's why. So let's get started. In the month of January, I read 8 books. 6 of those were for myself, and 2 of those were for my 8-year-old. The first book I am actually really excited to tell you about, and it is Sovereign by A.J. Whitney, and this is a debut author. This is going to be the first in a trilogy. This will be released on February 28th, and this is a sci-fi novel. I am filming on my phone, and so I can't read you the synopsis from it. I can't even tell you necessarily what it's about. Just know that there's a community that's all alone, and they know that they have to send children to some entity. And they're fighting against that and finding repercussions of those actions. I also don't want to try and wing on telling you what it's about and accidentally give some spoiler pieces away. But this author is actually a friend of mine who we went to elementary school together and had remained friends all through high school. And so I was super excited to finally see her book being released. And like I said, it's a YA novel. And she does a really great job of keeping it YA, but at the same time, it was still intriguing enough to keep my attention. I flew through this book really quickly. And at the end, I was like, now I need booktube because I need to see what is gonna happen. I rated it 4 stars, and I received the ARC from NetGalley, so I was so super excited to be able to get an early copy, and I cannot wait to purchase one and have it in my hand as well. So the second book that I read is Never Lie by Freida McFadden, and this is a book I picked up on audio from Libby and read. I think it was in 2 days. I have actually been reading a lot of audiobooks. In fact, I think only one of these books I read as an ebook, the ARC, and all the rest were audio, which that never happens. I have been doing some physical reading as well. I just didn't finish any physical books this month. But anyways, Freida McFadden, this is probably the 5th or 6th book of hers that I've read, and I like them because it's really quick and easy to get through, something to kind of occupy my time. This one was just fine. I rated this one 3 stars, 3.5 stars. The third book that I read is one I actually have a physical copy of. The Silent Woods by Kimmy Cunningham Grant. But again, I listened to this on audio. This was so good. I just loved the overall feeling that I got at the end of this book. This is about a man who is raising his young daughter out in the woods, away from people and away from society, as far away as you can get pretty much. And neither he nor she go into any type of civilization. They have supplies brought from one person once a year, and something happens to him. And so this is just their story about what happens after that, and kind of I think it goes back and forth with time jumps from the past into now. And it was a really calm and atmospheric story, and I just really enjoyed this. I rated it 4.5 stars. The next book that I listened to was Authentically, Izzy by Pepper Basham. This is one that I picked up for a book club on Fable, and I had a really hard time getting into this. It is an epistolary novel, and so it's told all in letters. Actually, it's emails between a woman and a person that she meets on a dating service, plus her cousins and her aunt. And then we get to another section where the letters come from the other person that she met on the dating service. So the letters are between him and our main character, plus his brother and his niece, maybe. There's a few of them. It took me about halfway through the book to kind of like become at all invested. By the time I actually got into the novel and I got to about 80%, my Libby hold expired and it got sent back to the library. And I was like, oh my gosh, so now I need to finish the book. So I had to wait a few days, but then I was able to get it back and finish it. But that was kind of frustrating. But anyways, I only rated that one 3.5 stars. In the end, I ended up enjoying it, and I will probably continue on in that series, but by ebook from the library. Now, I also kind of read at the same time another epistolary novel, The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society, which I also listened on audio, which is also a bunch of letters between a bunch of different people. And so I just found this format really difficult. And I don't know if it would have been better if I read it in a physical form or if it was because it was on audio, but I didn't really care for the epistolary formats in audio, and I'm not sure if those are for me. I know I used to read those type of formats before, but it's been a while, I guess, and I wasn't caring for them. And this one, I did not know what was going on. Like, it took a good 40% or so before I kind of understood what was happening at all. Once I was over halfway through, I finally kind of got a little interested in what the actual story was telling us, but I did not end up loving this one. I rated it 3 stars, but then I went and I watched the movie, and the movie I think is so much better. Like, that doesn't happen very often that I end up liking the movie more than the book, but I do believe that the movie not only did really well sticking to the story, but I think because the epistolary format, it just brought it way more into colorful vision versus trying to read it. So I really enjoyed the movie and I liked it better than the book. The last book that I read for myself was The Lake of Lost Girls by Catherine Green, another book that I listened to on audio. And this one was a thriller, I believe, like a mystery thriller about a girl who went missing, the 4th girl from her campus in a certain amount of time to go missing, and none of them were ever found. And we are following this girl's sister and trying to figure out what happened, because they, and I don't think this is spoilers, but they end up finding remains. It's been like 20 years, I think, or something. She and her family are like, is this my sister? Is this one of these girls? Like, they don't know anything. And so it's just about what happens with the family and what happens with this investigation that gets reopened about these 4 girls, and trying to figure out the timeline of her sister's last moments, because nobody ever really knew. And yeah, I found it quite intriguing and also a little bit frustrating with some of the characters, but it was to keep you guessing. And overall, I enjoyed the book. I originally rated it 4.5 stars, but I think I'm going to just leave it a 4-star after a few days of thinking on it. The only other 2 books that I read were books to my daughter. So one of them was Leroy, Ninker, Saddles Up, and that is by Kate DiCamillo. My daughter tends to like her books, and we have read a lot of the Mercy Watson books, and so this is just another one, and it's a pretty quick read. The other one that I read to her was Howliday Inn, and this is an old book I picked up somewhere for free, and I think it was written back in the 80s. This is actually number 2 in the Bunnicula series, which I haven't read Bunnicula, but this has a dog and a cat that get put into a kennel, essentially, while their family goes on vacation, which there are some mysterious happenings and animals disappearing. It actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was a little long and ridiculous, but that's okay. So I was going to throw in some other stats and such here, but this is already getting long enough. I am going to switch now to my TBR portion of this video, which I have already filmed previously. So it's decently long. So I hope you stick around for that. It's a bit of a bumpy ride, so it should be entertaining at least. Let's just say things aren't going as they planned. I'm actually filming this part first, and then I filmed the wrap up, which I'm going to be doing in the future, but you've already seen it. So anyways, let's just jump in. I had planned to do a bit of a TBR jar pile of possibilities, but as I was prepping for this video, I found out that there were so many things, and I tried to do so many things that I don't need that TBR jar. I'm just going to go with the things that I already had kind of planned, and there's a lot. So I have like a lot of things that need to like work with each other, and I don't know why I do this to myself, but anyways, I am going to be starting with the mini deck of TBR, which I have never done this before, so I am really looking forward to this. I actually got a brand new deck of cards, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull like 3 cards and use those prompts, and hopefully I can use the things that I pick for those prompts in other things. I also am going to be trying to fulfill prompts for X's and O's Readathon, obviously not with these, but with some of my other books. And then I also am starting the aim for the Target reading challenge that starts in February. And that has a list of 20 prompts that I'm hoping that the books that I pick will fulfill 5 of those. If you haven't heard about this reading challenge, I'm going to link the announcement video down below, and I think it's going to be super fun, so I hope you'll join me. Let's see what else. I have taken a note out of Jess Massey's book and put sticky notes for the books that I do not own but are for book clubs or things like that that I need to either find at the library or find audiobooks or get my hands on it somehow. So I think that's all. Let's go ahead. We're going to jump in with the mini deck of TBR and see how that goes. So I've got my cards. I opened a brand new deck of cards and shuffled them quite a bit. And so I'm just going to give it a couple more shuffles and then we'll draw the first card. All right, so I got a Queen of Hearts. Let's see what that says. If I want 1 point, I can listen to an audiobook. If I want 2 points, I can read an ebook. And if I want 3 points, I can read a physical book. So that's thankfully a pretty easy one. I will definitely be able to fulfill that prompt in some way. That one I'm actually going to wait until the week of, because then I can use another book that I'll be reading to fulfill that. I have a couple audios, I have a couple physicals, and I could probably get some ebooks in there as well. So if I can, obviously I'll go for the 3 points. All right, so the next card is an Ace of Clubs. So another face card, an ace, says free pick. All right, like this is pretty good going for my first time doing deck of TBR. Okay, I'm going to pick one more, and I got another queen. So obviously maybe they weren't quite shuffled enough for being a brand new deck, but again, queen is audio, ebook, or physical book. I know I won't be able to read too much in a single week or anything like that, so I'm going to stick with those 3 cards, but that makes following these prompts super easy. So my goal is going to be to get 9 points, but we'll see if I get to it in the length of the readathon. Okay, so then I have the X's and O's readathon, and I decided to be on team O, which is like the sweet side. And so for the first prompt is to find a book with pink on the cover. And I'm really hoping that some of my planned books will have pink on the cover. In fact, I know one of my book clubs is going to be reading My Phony Valentine. And I don't know why I put it on a sticky note, but I do own it, which is right here, which I'm saying this could count as pink. So I think I will go with that one for pink on the cover. The next prompt is to find a book with a cinnamon roll hero. And I'm not really sure how to go about this one. I'm gonna have to hope that something I read will fulfill that prompt, or that might not be one that gets fulfilled. The next one is to have S-U-G-A and R in the title or the author name. Let's see. There's no S, not one. G is proving difficult. I do not have any books on this cart, so now I'm going to look at some library books over here. Okay, I had to turn the camera off and go searching because there are no books on this cart that have all of the letters S-U-G-A-R in the titles or in the authors, nor in my library books. So I had to go look at my shelves, and I grabbed the first one that I found, and that is the Final Girls Support Group by Grady Hendrix. I am actually reading Witchcraft for Wayward Girls currently, so that's another of his books back to back, but that's okay. So, all right, the last prompt for the X's and O's readathon is to read the group read, which is The No Show by Beth O'Leary. I already have this downloaded onto my Kindle from my library, so that's good. And the rest of the books that I'm gonna have to read are Tell Me What You Did by Carter Wilson. That is for the Sleep When I'm Dead book club. And then I am hoping to get to Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix in my reread for the week, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So we'll put that in stack, but like, I don't know. All right, let's look at some other challenges that I have and see if we can fit any of these books into that. So I have the Final Girls Support Group, and I have My Phony Valentine. I have Tell Me What You Did, The No Show, and A Game of Hearts. I feel like I'm missing something, but anyways, we need an author that starts with the letter F, and I don't know that that's gonna happen with these. We need water words, also not with these. We need a skyline, also not with these. I don't believe the No Show has a skyline on it. And then I also have a keyword challenge, which needs the word art, golden, dream, first, club, went, stay, or live live. So let's see. Here I was thinking this was going to be easy, that I had so many books and so many options, but I'm not finding any of those keywords. And then Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf challenge is size words. Those also do not fit any of those prompts. Usually I find books pretty easily to fulfill prompts, but I'm not finding it this time. All right, so here's the round one prompts for the Shoot for the Target reading challenge. And I'm just going to read through these real quick and see if we can fulfill any of those with these books. White on the Cover, a reread published in 2008, a nonfiction book, Autumn Vibes, title with 5 words. 1-word title, water on the cover, cover the same color as my shirt, animal on the cover, a book on the shelf next to last read, 2+ people on the cover, a signed book, author has the same number of letters as your name, orange on the cover, favorite author, buzzword of circus is the word, a YA book, book with 400+ pages, and an adult book. Well, I definitely have an adult book, so that's 1. We do have a favorite author. That's Grady Hendrix. 2 people on the cover. Phony Valentine. Okay, that's 3. So I'm going to need to find 2 more. All right, so The No Show is by Beth O'Leary. And if I use my first and last name to her first and last name, we have the same number of letters. So I think I'm going to count that one for that. That means I only need 1 more prompt to cover on Aim for the Target challenge. Orange on the cover, I think Tell Me What You Did has orange on the cover. So that's really awesome. I can fulfill 5 prompts on round 1 of Shoot for the Target. So if you don't know, there's 20 prompts, but you only have to fulfill 5 prompts. And then at the end of the month, the results will be released and you'll be able to find out how many points you gain on the target from the arrow that you shot. There's 5 arrows, so 5 prompts that you fulfill, but you get to choose from 20 of the prompts. So I was able to fulfill 5 of those, and we'll see at the end of the month. If I read all of those 5 books, then I'll see how many points I get at the end of the month. All right. Was that confusing? Because that was confusing for me. I have a few more books that I have to connect or find for prompts, but I think I'm going to go ahead and leave this here because it's a little bit more extensive than I thought it was going to be. And so yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my chaotic TBR finding prompts to fit and match books. Yeah, so please let me know if you are participating in any reading challenges or readathons, because I have way too many. I didn't realize I had like 5. Check out the Shoot for the Target readathon if you have not already, and I will see you next time. Bye.